to build your controls. One, when the existing controls are not matching our requirements. Two, the second scenario when you are building the new controls is, the second thing is, one should be the existing controls not matching our requirements. The second thing is customizing an existing control. Means you're going to add some additional functionality for that. That's what customizing some existing controls. In the two scenarios, we go for creating our own controls. Either the existing controls doesn't match our requirement. They are not fulfilling our requirement. Then we'll develop our own controls. Second option, we also develop our own controls for customizing the existing. Customizing in the sense, adding additional functionality. That's what I said. Your text box is there. The text box accepts anything in it, but I want the text box to accept only numeric values. I want to create a numeric text box now. I want to create a numeric text box now. That's what we call as customization. So in both the two scenarios, we are going to build our own controls actually. In both the two scenarios, we are going to build our controls actually. Okay. So last day, I stopped it here. What said? If you want to create a new control completely, what did I say? I said you add user control class. I showed you also add a user control class. When you add a user control class, what will happen? It will create a class inheriting from the class called user control. We had a container and we can design it in the container now. And suppose your intention is to create a extended control, means you want to customize an existing. Then what you will add? You will add a class then. You will add a class and inherit from the control what you wanted to extend the functionality. Inherit from the control what you want to extend the functionalities. Actually, these are the two things what we planned in the last class. These are the two things what we planned up in the last class actually. So let us see now how to develop the controls. Finally, remember I stopped it here. What is that? Guys, if at all you just wanted to develop the controls, I just said you, better open a new project and develop. Better open a new project and develop the controls. Don't go for developing at under the existing project. To create complete new projects and develop the controls. So we'll see today how are we going to develop the controls. Okay, so by creating a new project, how are we going to develop the controls? I explained about all these things in the last class, guys. People working on the controls are classified as component developers and application developers. The one who develops a control is known as component developer, and those who consume the controls for developing applications are known as application developers. The one who develops the control is a component developer, and the one who develops an application is a application developer. And while developing controls, the developer should first design the control. Yeah, the developer will be designing the control, write all the behavior to the control, and then define any required properties, methods, and events. I explained all these things in the last class to you. Yes or not? Okay. So all these things should be defined by us. So today we'll create a control here. So what is the control I'm going to create means? I'm going to create a stop clock control. I'm going to create a stop clock control. And see guys, this is the design of the control. Where is it? Yeah. First, I have a text box on the top. What is this? Mask text box. Next, I have a start button, stop button, reset button, close button. Clear. And also, it's not visible there, but I need a timer to write all the logic. I need a timer to write all this logic now. Okay, for the start, stop, reset and all, I need a timer. And to develop this, what I'm doing is, guys, observe. Create a new project. And to develop this, what did I say? Take a separate project and develop only controls there. Develop only controls. Can I run a control directly? Array, can I run any control directly? Can I use a control directly? Directly, any control you can't run. You can't run it Xbox directly. You're required to place it Xbox on a form. Button on a form. Anything. Finally, you're required to place it on a form and use. So now also, you're developing your controls. You can't run them or do anything. Finally, you're required to come back to your Windows project and only consume. You have an existing project now. From there only you can consume. Means, all the controls we are going to develop, all the controls, just understand the controls what we are going to develop here. Can they run them? No. We can only consume them. We can only consume them. Recollect yourself in the C sharp, in your earlier classes of of C sharp I explained you. What is it? Guys, if at all you want to consume only, if at all you want, your requirement is only to consume, go with TLL projects, not EXE projects. TLL, dynamic link libraries. These are basically to consume. These are only purely libraries. We can only consume them in our applications. Are you getting my point here? What type of projects? TLL projects are what should use. So to develop the controls also, we have a specific TLL project. What is that? If your requirement is only code, one day I explained you class libraries, remember? The first time we learned DLLs, class libraries. Same way, we have a concept called control library projects. Control library projects. Okay, watch it all of you. Choose desktop here. And now you scroll down. Yeah, this is your EXE projects. They are basically EXE projects. When you come down, you'll be finding app. Windows Form Control Library. That is the one what we just have. Okay, just a minute. Okay, have a look. This is Windows Form Control Library for .NET Framework. .NET Core. .NET Core. Okay, but I just said you I don't use .NET Core here. It's not perfectly designed. I don't know. They did not focus much on that. This one. For GUI programming, .NET Core is waste. Anyhow, you can't run it on other operating systems. So better let us go with .NET Framework only. Okay. .NET Framework. Click next. Give a name for it. Any name here, your choice. Any name, your choice. Let me check what name I used in my project. No issue. Just I named it as User Controls Project. User Controls Project. Okay. Yeah, saving in our own folder. C# 9. Click on the create button. Same. If you open a Windows Forms application, by default it comes with a form. What is the name? Form 1. If you open a control library project, by default it comes with a control. By default it comes with a control. Name user control 1. There form 1. Here user control 1. Go and see if you want. That's a default. See, yesterday I shown you na user control blank container. And if you go to Solution Explorer, you can just see. Otherwise, you go to view code here, then also we can see. Is that clear? For Windows, it will get a window form 1. But it will give you user control 1. Yeah, actually, we want to change the name. What is that? We planned our name already, stop clock. We planned our name already. What is the name? Stop clock. So let us change the name. When you want to change the name, don't change the name here. I already said you this in the initial classes for you. If you want to change the name, always change the file name. When you change the file name, automatically class name also will change. Change the file name. Rename. give a name for your what is the name? Stop clock. Enter. Automatically it will ask you, shall I change the class name also? Just click on the yes button, changed. What next? Come here and start your designing work. Actually, what is my requirement? My requirement is I'm just going to conduct some online examinations here. We're conducting some online examinations. And I want a stop clock. Basically, the stop clock should run exactly for 1 hour. I want a stop clock. The examination time is 1 hour here. I want to run a stop clock exactly which runs for 1 hour. So that is what my plan of action is. I'm going to build a stop clock that is going to run for 1 hour now. Is it clear? Okay. So fine. First, what you'll do is place for displaying the time, I'm using a mask text box. I'm using a mask text box. Set the mask. Go to mask property and set the mask. What is the mask? Time mask. Mask is time, guys. Time mask. Okay. Yeah. And also set a default value for this. Set a default value. What is the default value? 0000 colon 00. When you're giving a default value, no need to enter 00 colon 00. Already set the mask there, na? Directly enter 0000. That will automatically come to you. Notice it? Let's set some background color for this. It's a white. Okay, it looks good now. So we have a text box on this, a mask text box. Okay, now? And below this, I just want to add the 4 buttons. Start, stop, reset, close. Start button. Stop. Reset. Close. Also start giving names for the controls. The first control is the mask text box. So I'm naming it as MTB. MTB time. Start button. BTN start. BTN stop. BTN reset. And BTN close. Okay. So we just been designed up the control. Next what? You need to write the logic. If you design the control not over now, you need to write the logic. For start, stop, reset, for everything, I need to write the logic. And to do that, I also require the support of a timer now. Because the time should increment means the logic should execute continuously in the interval now. So timer. For this timer, I'm writing the logic. Setting the interval. My code should execute for every second. I need to increment the seconds value in that. Okay. So I'm just giving the timer as 997. Already explained you. 997 is the value what I'm giving. Fine. Then you're required to write the logic in the timer tick event. In the timer tick event, you need to implement your logic. Timer tick event. What should happen here? When I start this, basically, actually, we cannot run libraries. We cannot run the libraries. We cannot run any library, but basically you develop a control. And before you give it to someone, you need to test your control. You need to test your control. For that reason, even though DLL projects cannot run, it will provide you, how to consume a control by placing it on some container. What container form? It will provide you one test container to test your controls, guys. So even though DLL projects cannot run, you can run the Windows Forms control libraries for testing the controls. We can run the Windows Forms control libraries for testing. Only from Studio. Directly if you go to DLL and double click, DLL won't run. But when you double click on exe will run, but DLLs won't run like this. Just for testing purpose, a test container is given to you to test. So you can run by using F5, guys. From Studio only it will work. But if you take an exe project, from Studio also it will work. Directly you can go to command window also and you can run. But this cannot be run only from Studio. See, a blank test form is given. See? Yes or not? So now you can test it. Now you can just click on the start button, stop button, reset button, all these things, and you can test up now. Did you get my point or not? That is just given only for the testing. Only for the testing, they provided us this test container for us. Okay? Okay. They provided a test container for testing purpose. You can just run it and you can see the output. When you click on start, what happens? Stop, what happens? Reset, what happens? Close, what happens? You can just see the output here now. When you click on the start, what should happen here? This one for every second should be changing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what you want now. Yes. And that logic should execute for every second. Every second, this second part should be incrementing now. Okay. So watch it, how to write the logic. Observation. I'm declaring two variables here. One, minutes representing the minutes value. Two, seconds representing the seconds value. For every second, I'm writing, this logic executes for every second now. Timer tick for every second. So every second, what will happen? The seconds variable keeps on incrementing. But its incrementation should be done only until 59. After 59, it should be 0 again, correct? The incrementation should be done only until 59. So, a condition here. If seconds less than 59, then only increment the value. Not 60, be careful, less than 59. Why? And if you write less than 60, 59 is less than 60, will come inside and become 60. You don't want to see 60, remember that. Less than 59 means 58, less than 59 comes inside, becomes 59. 59, not less than 59. So will not enter now. Are you clear? Now tell me, when it's 59, what should it become next? 0. After 59, what should come now? So in the else part, write down what? Seconds is equals to 0. Are you clear? So now see, seconds value will be incrementing. Once it reaches 59, it will become 0. Again, 1 to 59. Again, 0. Now tell me, when will it come to else part? When will it come to else part? When it is what? Each? I did not understand here. I'm scolding you for this reason. Right or wrong, speak louder or get out of the classroom. Speak louder. When will it come to else part? Why do you make me angry and why do you make me to shout on you? I don't understand. Every day the same behavior. Come on, louder. When it comes to else part. When the seconds reaches 6:59. Means when will it reach 59? For every minute here. That is the answer. When it comes to else part, for every minute it will come to else part. When it comes, for every minute it comes to the else part. Means here you need to increment the minutes value now. Array, when the seconds now, minutes value should be incremented now. Now here also same problem. What is that? Once it reaches 59, it should not go beyond. So condition required here also. What? If minutes less than 59. If minutes less than 59, minutes plus equals to 1. Sorry. Minutes plus equals to 1. Else minutes equal to 0. Now tell me, when it reaches to else part? For every hour. Array, when it comes to else part here, for every hour, you will come to the top else part for every minute. The inner else part, every hour. When it is coming to the else part, what should I do? I'm set the minutes as 0. I set the minutes as 0. And then timer 1 dot stop. Why? Array, that is only in our plan. We want the timer to run only for 1 hour. It's only 1 hour. It's only for 1 hour. For 1 hour, it should stop. That's all. Say we don't have an hours part. Tomorrow, if you want to design a stop clock with hours also, you understood the logic now? What you require to do? There you require to declare another variable hours and increment the hours value. Okay? But today I'm not incrementing the hours value because the reason why I'm not incrementing the hours value is because we want to execute the timer only for 1 hour. So that's why I'm stopping the timer at this particular place. So this is what I'm just writing now. Okay, and this logic executes for everything. And now see these values, understand carefully. These are the values I'm incrementing now. The incremented value should be displayed in the text box here. The incremented value should be displayed in the text box. How to display? mtb time dot text is equals to your minutes value and the seconds value. You need to concatenate the two. When you want to concatenate, generally plus is a concatenation operator. But if I say minutes plus seconds, they will add up the two values. Because they're integers, na. So what you do? Convert this into string. Plus. Now they will add a concatenator. They will concatenate now. Because you're converting them into string, they will not add now. They will concatenate. Minutes and seconds are concatenated and displayed in the mask text box. Now come to start button. What you'll do? Timer 1 dot start. And now you come to stop button. Timer 1 dot stop. Yeah, that first one will start the timer. Second one will stop the timer. Run this. Are you getting the output correctly or not? Let's watch. Array, see. What happened? It's not changing the value. Let's put a breakpoint here. Seconds incremented, assign the value. Oh, the mistake is we declared this to inside here. If I declare them inside every time, that will be reset to 0. Nah? That should be a global declaration. We need to declare as fields. Okay. But still, we don't get the correct output. The declaration place is wrong. That's all. Okay. Correct output won't come. See, it is incrementing. But see, how is it showing you? Yes, why is it showing it like this? The reason why is it showing is minutes should be 0, 0. For integer, you cannot assign 0, 0, na? For integer, you cannot assign 0, 0. 0, 0 will not be assigned for int x is equals to 0, 0 won't be taken. Int x is equals to 0, that's all. So now, what is the problem? The problem is, initially, what is the value of minutes? 0. Value of seconds? 0. Correct? After 1 second, the seconds value will become 1. Now, if you concatenate and assign them to the text box, what will be there? 0, 1 only. Array, that's why it is showing you like this, guys. Understood? So, what is the problem now is, the problem is, the minutes value is 0, seconds value 1. When you assign, it will be showing you like this. Why? 2 only there now. They have not 4. If 4 are there, it will show you 4. But 4 are not there. What is there? 2 only there. That's why it is not showing you the correct output. So see now, when the minutes value is ranging between 0 to 9, this problem will come. And the seconds value ranging between 0 to 9, this problem will come. To resolve this, what to do, you know? When the minutes and seconds value are ranging between 0 to 9, you need to prefix one more 0 before that. We need to prefix one more 0 before that. How do you do? Watch this. Before this assignment, I need to check if seconds less than 10. Less than 10 means 0 to 9. Array, less than 10 means 0 to 9. Just a minute. Here I will declare 2 more string variables here. String min_str and seconds_str. 2 more variables. String variables there. I'll say second_str is equals to 0 plus. Did you understand what did I do? When it is less than 10 means 0 to 9. I am prefixing another 0 before it. Are you clear? And you cannot prefix a 0 when it is integer. In integer 0, 0 won't be taken. You can do it only in the string format. That is why I declared a string variable and I prefixed a 0. Else means from 10. From 10, no need any prefix now. From 10, what to do? Seconds_str is equals to directly take the seconds value as it is. Take the seconds value as it is. And do the same thing for minutes also. What? If minutes less than 10, min_str is equals to 0 plus minutes. Else, min_str is equals to min.toString. Now see, here without concatenating min and seconds, directly what you can use? Minutes_str plus seconds_str. No need conversion to string? No need. Why? They are strings only. Min_str is a string. Seconds_str is also string only. Concatenate and assign. Now you see, you should get the correct output now. When it is less than 10, I am prefixing a 0 there. Otherwise, the value will be taken as it is. You can see. Just check for 1 minute whether the minutes part is incrementing or not. Let us see that. Are you clear? Okay. So I am just implementing the logic. Now, when I click on the stop, what will happen? It will stop. This stop works for you like pausing also. This stop works for you like a pause also. That can be a stop or pause. When I click on this, it will stop now. It is also a pausing. You can again restart from here. Again, you can restart from there. Say, suppose there is some match going on, a football match or a hockey match. There were time constraint, 45 minutes first half, 45 minutes second half. So in that, you see, if anything goes wrong, the timer will stop immediately. They'll stop the time. Some player got hurt. The time won't be counted. The player going to be taken out of the stadium or out of the ground. The time won't be counted. They'll pause it. Again, they'll restart it. Okay, anyhow, you can see that. Is that clearer? Okay. Now, once this reaches 59 minutes, 59 seconds, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, next it will immediately become 0000 and stops there. Are you clear? Okay. Now, see, if I write here, just a minute, we cannot test for 1 hour now. Lot of time I need to wait. I cannot test for 1 hour. If I write less than 59, it is executing for 60 minutes now. If I say less than 2, less than 59, 60 minutes, less than 2, how many minutes? Go and read schooling again here. How much time you want to answer that question? 3 minutes. But less than 59, it is 60 minutes. Less than 2, 3 minutes. I'm just executing for 3 minutes and testing it. Okay, run and see. For 3 minutes. After 3 minutes exactly, means 2 minutes 59. Next it should become all zeros and timer should stop off. Are you clear? Okay, let it run. We'll see. We'll see the appropriate process. So guys, so basically, what's your requirement? Our requirement is to develop the controls, and for that we created a new project. We created a new project. What type of project? Windows Forms Control Library. We have a project called as Windows Forms Control Library, and it's purely a DLL project. It is purely a DLL project. Okay, so all of you can read this note here. Read. Louder. We have Windows Forms Control Library project template. But all the controls, whatever you develop here, should be coming back and consumed from Windows Forms applications only. The only development of the control, you can't consume the control. Again, you need to come back to your old project. Windows project is here now. Come back, place it there, and then only you can consume it. Is that clearer? Okay, so that's what you cannot consume it from there. You can only develop it there. Fine. Now, we designed the control now, and we have just been implemented the logic, how it has to execute start button, stop button, and all these things we have just done. Okay, we just been used the start button, how to use stop button, and we have written the logic for all the things. Fine. Going forward, now how to consume this control now? How to consume this control? From where to consume? I developed a control here. The control what I developed here, I just wanted to consume now. The control, whatever I have developed here, I just wanted to consume now. Where to consume? That's what I was telling you. Again, go back to your Windows Forms project, and from there only you can consume your controls. From there only you can consume your controls now. You cannot consume the controls directly here. You need to consume it from there on. So how to consume the controls? Say, listen. When you want to consume a controls, all of you carefully listen. Actually, all the controls are available in the text, in the toolbox now. All the controls are available in the toolbox, correct? You drag and drop. You can add this control also in the toolbox. You can add this control also in the toolbox so that you can drag and drop on your forms now. Is it clearer or not? Okay. So, okay, let's just see this. So 259, it should become 0000 and stop. Is that clear? Written less than 2. So execute for 3 times. If it is less than 59, executes for 1 hour. So this stop clock runs only for 1 hour. Is that clear? Okay. Let me modify the code here again to 59. Okay. So my stop clock runs for 1 hour. Okay. Start is working, stop is working, and then we need to write the logic for reset. Actually, in reset button, all of you, carefully listen. When you click on the reset, what has to happen? Everything has to be reset now. So what I'm writing here, mtb time dot text equal to, I'm making all zeros. But problem is, not any error, let's see, start. This works like a pause button also, I said, you can pause again, start. You can pause again, start. Now, when you click on the reset, when you click on the stop, okay, it stopped. When you click on the reset, reset, again, start. See now? Already starting from where it stopped earlier. Reset means again it should start from the first now. Why is that? Because you're resetting the text box, but you did not reset the global fields. Array, these fields have the old value. The old value is continuing there. That's a better what you do. After resetting this, you say in minutes is equals to seconds is equals to 0. Reset them also. So now you should not face the problem. So start, stop, reset, start. Okay, but this is another scenario. Watch it. Tomorrow I can directly click on the reset. Tomorrow I can directly click on the reset. If you directly click on the reset, what should happen? See, it's not stopping, guys. So under reset also you should stop. Under reset also you have to stop. So stop should be present. Then what is the difference between stop and reset? I said you, that is not stop exactly. That is pause. This is not stop here. This is pause. If you want to put it the caption as stop/pause, put it as stop/pause. Okay. It is not exactly stopping. What exactly are we doing? There is only pausing. Okay. So that pauses. So the difference is when I say start and say stop, I'm pausing. So I can continue from there back again. But if I click reset, it stops and resets. I cannot continue from there. Again, I should start from first. Are you clear? Okay. Still lot to do, guys. Still lot to do. Now your control is developed. We developed a control. And when you compile this project, what it generates you? A .dll assembly. What it generates? A .dll assembly. Why? Library project. It is a library project, and what it generates is a .dll assembly. Clearer? Okay. So what is the path of the assembly? If you want to see the path of the assembly, I said you right click on this and you'll find an option called rebuild. I explained to you build, rebuild, clean, all options I explained to you. When I click on the rebuild in the bottom, you'll get output window, and the output window will show you the path of the assembly. Solution folder, project folder, pin, debug. In .NET Core, under debug again, you'll find .NET 6.0, .NET 5.0 folders. But in .NET Framework, you will directly find it in the debug. That is the location. Okay. So fine. The assembly is generated. Now let's do one thing. I want to consume the control. Where to consume the control? I said you, consuming the control should be done back from my Windows Forms application only. So let us open our Windows Forms application, what we are using every day. Yeah, this is the Windows project, what we have just been using. Yesterday we designed all these things. Now here, let me add a new form in the project. I'm adding a new form in the project. Now, what's my requirement? I wanted to place the stop clock on this form now. I wanted to place the stop clock on this particular form. On this form, the stop clock should commence it. Is my point clear? On this form, the stop clock should come and sit now. Okay, we need to place the stop clock on this form. Okay, let's see how to do that. Actually, so guys, if your control is in the toolbox, I want to place a text box, I said. I'm just telling I want to place a text box. What will you do? You'll open the toolbox. Text box is present in the toolbox. You will simply drag and drop the text box on the form now. Correct or not? You'll drag and drop the text box. I want to stop clock. So stop clock is developed in a separate project. I want it to be placing here. If that is the case, you can add your stop clock also in the toolbox and again drag and drop on the screen. You can add your stop clock in the toolbox and drag and drop on the screen. How to do that? Look, these are your existing controls. All the existing controls are arranged in the form of tabs. T-A-B, P for Bombay, tabs. Each tab is a group of controls. So these are some common controls, container controls. We already discussed on all these things. Okay. Now tell me one thing. You want to add your stop clock under any of these existing tabs, or you want to maintain a separate tab for your controller? Choice is yours. A new tab or existing tab? New tab? I want to add a new tab and just do it. Okay, come on. Let's add a tab. Right click. Add tab. A new tab is added. Give a name for the tab. My controls. I'm giving the name as my controls. My controls is the name what I'm giving for this. Okay, now. So after giving a name to this as my controls, now what I just wanted, I want my stop clock to be coming under my controls now. Okay, how do you get it? Right click on the new tab and you'll find an option. What is that? Choose items. When you click on this, it opens a window called as a choose toolbox items. And here browse button will be there. That is in disable. Once that is loaded, this browse button enables. It is loading. Let it load. The browse button will enable for you. Watch. Yeah. See now the browse button got enabled now. Click on the browse button and select the DLL file from its location. Just now we saw the path of the file. Where is it? E drive, C# 9, user controls project, bin, debug. Here only you'll find it. Select it and click on OK. Got it? Stop clock is in the list. But what user control will automatically come into the list now. Now, just like you drag and drop a button, I can drag and drop my stop clock also. Watch it. You developed it somewhere and again brought it back onto your screen and put it on the screen now. Clear? Understood all of you? That is developed somewhere and finally brought onto the screen. So that's present for you on the screen. Clear? Now can I test it? Yeah. Working. We already tested there. It's working. Start. Stop. Reset. Is it clearer or not? So it is just working now. Okay. So my control development is done. I just developed my control. So basically what did I say? I want to use it for designing a examination application. Some examination application. So now I'm going to the containers tab in the left hand side, right hand side. I'm placing a panel control there. Panel, setting the doc as fill, doc fill. Yeah. Now, guys, yeah, this is what now in the left, in the right hand side we have a panel. Na? There, you're just placing your questions now. Array, put all your questions on that side now. Some 30, 40 questions I have. I can just put up all the questions in that place now. Are you clearer? Yes or not? Okay. So that's what. Guys, have a look. Right now, this text box is editable. But in a stop clock, time text box should not be editable. It should not be editable. So because it should not be editable, let us go back to our old project. We did not do that. Come back here. Just select it and make it as read only true. These are two separate projects now. When you're working with two separate projects like this, listen carefully. When you're working with two separate projects, just make it read only true. Change it now. Open, build a project. And when you go to the other project, automatically the changes will reflect. Automatically the changes will reflect because you added a reference and both are on the same machine. The changes will reflect. See, it's non-editable now. But the cursor is present in the text box. See, why cursor there? Cursor should not be present over there. It's read only, and I don't want the cursor to be sitting on their location there. So I'll set a tab order. Remember tab order? This is the current tab order, guys. I want the focus to be present on the start button initially. Initially, it should be on the start button. Okay. So just to simply save it. Whenever you make changes, don't forget, you're required to build the project. Without building, don't expect the changes to come there. You need to build it and then only you can just test the changes on the other side. Run again. The focus is not in the text box now. Where is the focus? The focus is present on the start button. That's why when you hit the enter key, automatically it started there. Focus is on the start button here. I used enter key here. Automatically that started. Okay now? So fine. So we just been designed a control now and that is present on the left hand side. And here you need to place some questions now. Array, design it. You will take a question, a label, a question. Below that, check boxes are, radio buttons are, whatever you want, you just put it. Fine. Now, I have a small requirement here. What is that? Actually, all of us have written the public examinations. When will, actually there are some conditions here, guys. What are the conditions? Like when you're answering these particular questions now, you have a time limit. What are the time limit? You're just going to submit your exam. Means there is some examination being conducted. And for the examination, there are some conditions. What conditions? Condition 1. all questions are mandatory. Condition 1 is all questions are mandatory. Okay. Condition number 2 is you need to complete your exam before 1 hour. Suppose if the time turns here as 0000, you're disqualified. Did you get my point or not? You need to complete your examination by exactly 1 hour. If at all your time turns 0000 here, you're disqualified now. You're not qualified for the exam. You're disqualified. Means before the time is going to turning 0000, you're required to submit off. Clearer or not? Before the turns 0000, you're required to submit off. And how do I announce the winner is? The one means two things are calculated here. Speed and marks. Speed and marks. The one who attains the highest marks with a less time is considered as the winner. Is it clear? It's a separate test here. See, different types of test. All tests will not be examinations only. Psychological test will be there. Okay, managerial test will be there. Differently. The requirement is this is what they set us. What is that? We want all the questions to be answered. No choice for you. All are mandatory. All are mandatory. Second thing is before the time turns 0000, the page should be submitted. Okay. And who attains the highest marks with a less time will be considered as a winner. Now. Understood my point? So these are the requirements they said, and for that only I am developing the application. For that only I am developing this examination. Okay. Now listen. When this should be submitted, actually, before the submission should be done before the time turns 0000. Is it clear? Before the time turns 0000, it should be submitted. Okay. So I need a button on my screen now, submit. Once the exam is completed, I want to just click on the submit. Once I click on the submit, it should be submitted to the server. Are you clear? Okay, this is what my requirement is. And to do that, just a minute. Okay, I removed the panel there. I removed the panel. Hold on. I'm removing everything. First, I'm adding a button, guys. First, I'm adding a button. Dock bottom. Dock bottom. Submit page. BDN. Submit. Next, I will add now the timer now. Sorry, the stop clock here. I'm setting it as dock left. It's on the left side. Now here, the panel as dock fill. The panel as dock fill. On the panel, we have all the questions to be displayed. When you run, you see now in the left hand side, the timer will come. In the bottom, the submit page is there. And on the orange color, we are going to put all our questions now. Is that clear? Once you finish your exam, what you'll do? You'll click on submit button, submit page. And once you click on the submit page, what should happen? It should close. Once you click on the submit page, what should happen? It has to close. Are you clearer or not? Okay. So come on, let's write the logic for the submit page now. Submit page. In the submit page, what I need to check first, I need to first verify whether the time is 0000 or not. Are you clearer or not? What I should verify? Whether the time is 0000 or not. If the time is 0000, the user is disqualified, guys. Yes or not? If the time is 0000, user is disqualified. So that's the first I'm just checking. If if I want to see that text box value. So how to see the text box value? How to access the text box value in my code now? How to check the text box value in the code here? If you want to see the value of a text box earlier, how did you write the logic? You are checking for user ID passwords, or when you just want to check with the value, once you checked out whether minimum 8 characters are entered or not. How did you pick the value? How do you pick the value of a text box in your code? Are you understanding English? Answer the question. How do you pick the text box value in the code? I have a text box on the screen. How do you access the text box value in the code? Tell me frankly, are you practicing? Answer the question here. Stand up. You will not change until I'm telling you, open and answer. Stand up. Stand up, guys. Stand like that only. Answer now. How do you access the text box value in your code? You practiced previous examples? Then how did we check the value of a text box in the code? Online students are better than you. Text property here. How do you access the text value in your code? Text property checkbox. If I give a hint, you won't answer. Tomorrow also someone will come and answer you in the interviews. Do practice first. Every day I'm telling you. If you want to access the value, you need to use a property. For every control, I'm telling you one property to access the value in the code. We use a text property now. Okay, we have a masked text box on the screen now. We have a masked text box on the screen. And the masked text box value should be accessible in the code, text property. But the problem is, did you place the masked text box on your form now? Did you place the masked text box on your form? No, we did not place the masked text box on the form. What did you place on the form? I placed the stop clock on the form. I did not place a masked text box on the form. What I placed is a stop clock on the form. That is a stop clock that is placed on the form, not the masked text box. So if you observe it, if you just look at this one, the masked text box is not present on the screen. When the masked text box is not present on the screen, how can I access it? If I place it directly on the screen, I can access this code. But that's not on the screen now. That's not on the form. I'm sorry, not on the screen. Not on the form. If it's on the form, you can access, but that's not on the form. You cannot access this in the code. You cannot access that masked text box value in the code. It's not possible. Why? Because that is not present on your form. What is present on the form? Look. Actually, first, you designed a class called as stop clock. And on this stop clock, you placed some controls. What is it? MTB time. What is this MTB time? Instance of masked text box class. Next, btn start, btn stop, btn reset, btn close. What is this instance of button class? And also remember, you added one timer on this. What is the name? I did not change the name. Timer one only. This is instance of timer. Okay. Actually, what is your class here? Stop clock. And all these are instances what we created for the different controls. What is the main class? Stop clock. Now, you added a form. What is the form name? Form 4. You added a form called form 4. Okay. Now, on the form 4, what did you place? First, you added one button in the bottom. What is the name? BTN. Submit. What is BTN submit? Instance of a button. Then you added a stop clock. We did not give a name to the stop clock. If you don't give a name now, if you add a button, don't give a name. What is the default name? You added a button, did not give a name. What is the default name? Button 1. You added a stop clock, did not give a name. What is the default name? Stop clock 1. That's all. So you're going to have a name now. Stop clock 1. And don't forget, what is the stop clock 1 instance of? And then you added a panel now. What is the name? I did not give a name. So, panel 1. If you don't give a name, same name only, class name only. 1 or 2 will be present there. That's all. What is this? Are you clear? Now see, you are writing the code for click of the submit now. In the code of the click of the submit, you cannot access this mask text box here. Why? Array, that is not present in my class, that is present in some other class. Which class? Stop clock. If you want to access the member of another class, you require to prefix it. You require to call it by using instance of the class now. So how to call this mask text box? Stop clock 1 dot MTB time. Stop clock 1 dot MTB time. So come here. What you should try? You should try it like this. What? Stop clock 1. See, what is stop clock 1? Instance of stop clock. Where is it created? In form 4. But actually it is which class? Stop clock class, which is defined in Yoda project, Yoda controls project. Okay. Stop clock 1 dot. What is the name of the Xbox? MTB time. MTB time is not coming in the list. See, when I type, it did not come in the list. Why? You know that, yeah, the default member of every class is private, not accessible out of the class. The default scope of every member is private, not accessible out of the class. So this MTB time is not accessible. If you want this to be accessible, you require to change the scope to public. You require to change the scope to public, then only you can access it. Otherwise, you can't access the value. So the scope has to be changed to public. But we already learned in our in earlier classes, guys. Remember, never make the members of a class as public. That is wrong thing. If you want to expose the values, don't make public. But what to do? Without making public, how to expose the values of a field? Without making it public, without making the member as a public, how to expose its value? Not delegate. Why delegate? Property, not delegate. You need to define a property now. So because this is not accessible, you can't access it here. What is the best option? The best option is to define a property now. Are you clear? See, listen. Some property, define some property. What property will plan, but some property. One thing understand. What is your requirement actually to expose the value of the stop clock now? Yes or not? And what are we learning every day? Every control will give you one property to expose its value. Text box has given a property called text to expose its value. Checkbox and radio button are given a property called checked to expose your value. Font dialog is given a property called font to expose its value. Color dialog is given a property called color to expose the value. Folder browser dialog, selected path. Open file dialog and save file dialog, file name. Every control has one property exposing its value. Same way now, tell me, when you are developing your controls, don't you need to define your own properties now? Array, the first step is completed here. Yesterday I said you design the control. Designing completed. Second, write the behavior for the control. I've written start, stop, behavior. Third step, define the required properties, methods, and events. Until you complete this, your control is not ready now. You designed it, it's working, but not accessible to anyone now. If at all it has to be accessible, now it's your job to define all the required properties in the class, methods in the class, and events in the class. Is it clear? Now, I want to define a property for exposing the value of the stop clock. What name should I give? Any name here should be meaningful. See, font dialog is there. It can define a property called XYZ, but it was clearly defining a property called font to make it describe. Open file dialog is there. File name. Are you clear? Some meaningful name. I want to define my property with a name called elapsed time. Elapsed time. What is my property name? Elapsed time. So this is a property what I want to define. Okay? And understand here, I'm going to define this as a property. Read only or read write? It should be read only. Why read only? You cannot assign a value to stop clock. You can only get the value. You cannot set the value. So this is a read only property what I am defining. This is a read only property what I am defining for this. Elapsed time. And also very importantly, make it public. If it is not public, again, same problem will repeat. You can't access it outside. So what you'll do now, go to stop clock class, define a property. Now come back to a form and then call it. How to call? Stop clock one dot. Now see, I'm following the same. See, text box one dot, text. Open file dialog one dot, file name. Font dialog one dot font. Same way, stop clock one dot. Elapsed time. So first go to controls project. Here define the property. Public string elapsed time. And we want to define only getter. What do you say? Return. Where is the value? The value is in the mask text box here, MTB time. Actually, where you're writing this code? You're writing this code in stop clock class. So in stop clock class, MTB time is accessible to you. But where is it not accessible? In form, it is not accessible. So here I can say return MTB time dot text. Now again, whenever you make a change, what did I say? Build. Build the project. Come back. And you guys can see now, dot. A property defined now. Now, if stop clock one dot elapsed time, okay, is equal to, is not equal to 0000. Did you understand my point here? It is not equal to 0000. Jan only come here. If it is equal to 00, else. Else means equal to 0000. Then what I'm doing? Message box dot show. Okay. You are disqualified. You are disqualified. Please try again. You can try again. Option if available, you can try again. Okay. Comma. This is a information message to you. Message box buttons dot. Okay. And message box icon dot. Same only, information icon. So now you see, if the time is 0000, now the time is 0000. So when you click on the submit, what is it telling? You're disqualified. It is just telling you you are disqualified here. Now see, I'll say start. Okay, I'll say stop. I'll say stop. And now we click on this, not message is not coming. Are you clearer or not? The message is not coming for you at this particular place. Clear? Okay, fine. Next. What next? So like this, guys, identify whatever values you want to expose and define all those properties. Today, My requirement is I want to expose one value, I define one property. If I want to expose multiple values, you can define multiple properties accordingly now. So before defining, just analyze yourself. Read only, write only, read, write. What do you want? You can just define it accordingly now. Okay. So we're done with properties. What next? Methods. What are methods here? Methods are basically for performing actions. Yes or not? Okay. Now you see here, just watch. This is the form. And in the form, when I run this, actually, all of you have written the public exams now. When will a public exam for 3 hours we write the exam? When will the time start counting? When the question paper is given to you, or when you put the pen on the paper? When the question paper is given to you, not when you put on the pen on the paper. If you put the pen on the paper, then I will never put my pen on the paper then. When the question paper is given, immediately the invigilator starts counting the time now. Correct? Here also, we have a condition. The examination is only for 1 hour. After 1 hour, you will be disqualified. Yes or not? But who has to click on the start button? End user. Now, if I am the end user, I won't click on the start button here. First, I'll read all the questions now. I'll prepare all my answers. Then only I'll click on the start button and answer now. There is a mistake, na? Yes or not? I want the stop clock to be started when the form is loaded now. Did you catch my point or not? I want the stop clock to be started when the form is loaded. When the form is loaded initially, the stop clock should start execution now. Did you catch the point or not? So this is what, but it is not going to start. And I cannot start it. Why? Same problem. See, this mask text box is not accessible. These buttons are also not accessible to you. These buttons are also not accessible to you. The buttons are not going to be accessible to you here. So now the same problem. See, in form 1, I cannot say stop clock 1 dot ptn start dot perform click. I explained about perform click. Remember, I can't do that. Why? Button is not accessible to me. So here I'm going to write 2 methods. One is a start method and one is a stop method. What are the use of this method? These methods are for programmatically starting and stopping the stop clock. 2 ways to start here. User can click on the start and stop. Second option, programmatically starting, programmatically stopping. For that, I'm just going to give you these 2 options to you. And these 2 are methods, not properties. These will perform actions. They will not change any value or return any value. They will do what? Action performance. So again, go back to here, write a method. What? Public void start. When you click on the start, what to do? Timer 1 dot start. We'll start the timer now. Same logic here. Start button, same only I'm writing again. Again, another method. What's it? Stop. What you'll do in stop? Timer 1 dot stop. Timer 1 dot stop. Okay, again, build your project. Come back here. Now, let's go to the form load event. I'm referring a form load event. Now tell me guys, in the load event, can I write now stop clock 1 dot start? I can call the method. Just like you called the start method of a timer class, now we are calling the start method of the stop clock class. Stop clock class timer start will go and call timer start now. So now see, when the page is loaded, by default, the stop clock starts. Is that clear? But still there's a bug now. What is the bug? I will stop. I'll stop now. Are you getting my point or not? I have an option to stop. When there is an option to stop, what is the use if you start it implicitly also? So what is my requirement, Now it is implicitly started or explicitly started? When it is implicitly started, start and stop buttons should not be functional. When it is implicitly started, start and stop buttons should not be functional. Means they should be disabled off. They should be disabled off. So simply say, before you start, see what I'm doing? ptn start dot enabled is equals to ptn stop dot enabled is equals to false. I'm disabling these two guys. When will you enable? I won't enable. I don't require to enable also. Just a minute. Watch it. Build. I don't require to enable also. See here? Now all of you guys. Now watch it carefully. It is implicitly started or explicitly started? Implicit starting. So let me comment. If it is commented, no implicit start. Not implicit start na, then start and stop buttons will be functional only. Watch. See there. Start is working. Stop is working. Correct? But if I go for an implicit start, what will happen, you know? Start and stop buttons will not be under the control of the user now. End user cannot start, end user cannot stop. These two buttons will not work now. Array, I can use in different ways now. My requirements. Sir, what about reset button? I did not disable the reset button. And if I click on reset button, there is a self goal. If you click on a reset button, that is a self goal. Yeah. Why self goal? Your time turns 0000. And already we discussed the time is 0000. Your author is disqualified. Yes or not? That is self goal now. Understood? Okay, now the time is implicitly started. There is no option for me to stop. Correct? Directly I'll go for submit page. When I go on submit page, you notice it. When I go on submit page, the time is running off. That's why in the submit page here, if the time is in the submit page, what you do first, in the submit. First, what you do? Stop clock 1 dot, stop first. Exam completed na, user clicked on the submit. First, what you'll do? Stop it. After stopping it, then check the time. Is it clear? Now see, I implicitly started, implicitly stopped because user doesn't have an option to start, user doesn't have an option to stop. See now, when I click on the submit, then also it stopped, see? Yes or not? So this is a requirement. In this requirement of implicit starting, but tomorrow somewhere you want an explicit start, explicit stop now, then don't call start method. If you don't call start method, then it is a explicit start. Who will start? User will start, user will stop. These are methods. So I just defined one property and two methods also. What is the third one? Events. I'll show you in the next class. I'll again telling you, if you don't answer, you'll stand until the class is completed. Read these concepts and come to the class. What? I explained about events to you in initial classes now. Events, delegates, event handler bindings and all. Yes or not? So we are going to discuss about all these things in the next class. We are going to define our own events in the control. We will come across all the things. Read them and come to the session. Are you clear? What? Events, delegates, event handlers, all these particular topics. I completed the discussion already. Event arcs, object sender, event arcs, all those things. Prepare well and come to the session. Monday, I will explain you how to refine events in the control. Let's stop today. We'll meet on Monday.
Recording stopped.